Hello, everybody. I'm so excited today. I have a quantum shaman on the show who alchemizes water. Randy Hatton, thank you for being here. Um, Randy has been working with alchemizing water for 24 years, and it's all divinely guided. So that's what I love about this is that there is a galactic connection. And Randy, as you know, I go see the water every day. So I'm crazy about water. And so are you. So I think this is going to be a great conversation. So thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you, sister, for inviting me onto your platform here and sharing with your audience some what I feel pretty important things to bring out to the world and for us to just help us to remember, I think, in many cases, what we've forgotten, basically,
Yeah.
help us to remember what we've forgotten. And this also happens to water. This is what I believe. This happens to water also.
Wow. So it has kind of like a consciousness like ours, you mean?
That's correct. And I believe when we give water and treat water with love and respect by copying nature's way, we allow it to remember its full potential that it has to support optimal life and well-being. I believe basically the Akashic records are stored in water. But as we have contaminated our planet so much through all the chemicals and toxins, and those toxins get around the water molecule, the water doesn't have that ability to fully remember who it is and it's a potential, and it doesn't have that ability to connect to the cosmos from where it's from and remembering its full life force. And that's a thesis, but I think we will start understanding this more and more. So
Wow.
I believe we are just scratching the surface of understanding the true depth and power that water carries. It is so
Wow.
far beyond what we could imagine, even. It really, but it will be coming. We were going to start remembering this, as the water will remember, and we'll start realizing truly. I mean, my greatest message from this talk to any of the listeners is that to just really remember as water as your beloved, your very best friend, and treat it because it is the mother of all life. It's the source of all life.
It is. Without it, we die.
Yeah, right, exactly. And we're on a water planet, and we're water beings. And so if we can just remember that.
Yes. And I want you to tell us how did all this knowledge come to you? How did you get started with this love for water?
Well, it started many years ago. I started commercial fishing when I was 7 years old. And by the time I was 26, I was the captain of a 180-foot ship in the Bering Sea fishing crab, known as the deadliest catch. So I was spending basically 10 months a year on the ocean, right? I didn't realize this, but when two spiritual teachers showed up in my life when I was about 27, one of them said, son, you don't realize this, but you've been spiritually connecting to the water as you've been on the water all of your life. And she also told me in a conversation, you don't remember this, but you were one of the, quote, top scientists in Atlantis who worked with technologies that were all about supporting the water and water related. And I was just scratching my head saying, wow, what Atlantis? I hadn't even heard of Atlantis 26 years ago.
I asked you if you heard of Atlantis at the time. You're like, what?
Right. Scientists? I'm like, no. I'm a fisherman. I'm no scientist, Anyways. So because of grandmother Celia and grandmother Falling Leaves Crowfoot, I wouldn't be talking here today if it weren't for those two. They were both very amazing individuals, and they became my great teachers. And I started meditating from them, teaching me how to meditate and doing these other things to go inward. And this is when these ideas started coming to me about these water stuff. It just in my dream, but it started with my girlfriend Sheila, who brought me a video a VHS tape back in those days about a man named Johann Gronder. And this Johann Gronder water filter system that a guy in Austria that had made. And in the video, it was showing all these amazing things that this water would do after it ran through this filter. So the little boy in me said, I need to buy one of these and cut it in half, and I need to find out what's inside of this thing. Anyways, because I just knew in my heart it was something magical. A lot of people would say, well, that's all hocus pocus, woo woo, snake oil. But my inner guy said, no, get one. So I went to go buy one. I tell the guy what I'm going to do. And he said, well, you don't got to buy it. And I'm not trying to make a sale. I'll tell you what's in there. And he shakes it. And I hear water. And he says, I said, water? What's there water in there for? He said, Johann Gronder found this special water in a cave in Austria. He realized it had these different healing properties. Well, to this day, I'm pretty sure I know what it is. It's primary water, the virgin source of water that's on our planet. That's a whole nother conversation. So he puts this in a copper jacket inside this stainless steel housing, which is about 18 inches tall, 4 inches by 4 inches. The water would come into the side. It would go take a loop, come out the other side, and it would go by this jacket of water and copper. And what was happening was those informational fields from that water was sharing with the other water that went through the filter. And the water would pick up on it instantly. And there was magnets in there. I'm saying, and that's it. That's all that's in there. And it's
Was
doing
it
all
touching the water? Was it touching
Huh?
or just passing by it? Did it touch the water, or it was just passing by the water?
It was just passing by in a copper jacket inside of this stainless steel filter.
Yeah.
Because copper works really well to conduct electricity, information, frequency, right? And I was just like, wow. And I knew this somehow. I just knew it. I knew it was true. I knew there was not a lie. And they were feeding this water to plants with amazing results, chemical fact, all kinds of things they were doing with this water. And it was really, really bringing the cost down of all kinds of companies by using this device in there. So I said, wow, if water is this programmable and this sensitive, what if you do this? What if you combine sound frequencies? What if you combine light spectrums? What if you combine I was always fascinated as a little boy, the vortexing of water in the bathtub. I'd sit in there till the end of the bath and watch the vortex go down the very end. Yeah. I was always playing in a stream out in nature, always fascinated with spinning, flowing water around me. And I'm like, so wow, what if you do this? And this is when I was meditating, and these ideas just started streaming through me. I mean, and then Grandmother Falling Leaf gave me an article right around this time. And this article had to do with, it was an article from the Washington Free Press, and it was talking about all the millions of pounds of carcinogens and toxins that were being dumped into our rivers, lakes, and streams just in the United States. And it was a lot. And Washington State ranked #1. And that lit a real fire under my butt. She knew what she was doing to this day. I know this now. It really lit a fire under my butt. And I was like, wow, I got to be a part of this solution. And I can't be a part of the problem. I can't be a part of the problem anymore. I quit my pretty much lifelong fishing career. I moved away from the Pacific Northwest, moved up to the mountains of New Mexico and Timbuktu, away from the ocean as far as I could go, so I wouldn't go back to it. And I dedicated my life to starting to understand, how can I create these devices and put them in rivers, lakes, and streams? This is basically, I said, I know deep in me, I have a part of this solution. And it wasn't logical at all, to be honest with you. And all my friends and family are like, what are you smoking, Randy? Or what's wrong with you? Where are you going? What are you doing in the mountains of New Mexico? What are you going to do up there? You're a fisherman. I said, I don't know. I'm just going to follow what my guidance is telling me to do. And I don't know. Anyway, so that's briefly kind of how I all got started. And so the first device that came through me was a little device that I called VME. And my guide said, take this little two bottles and in between it, make a coupler and put magnets on this little coupler.
Wait, before you continue, your
Huh?
guide, which guide?
At this point, I believe it was just my spirit guides were telling me this at this
Okay.
point. Okay.
Okay.
And so I followed my guidance, and then I brought it to the grandmothers. I made a couple of them. I brought one to grandmother Foley's, grandmother Celia. I said, play with this for a week, and then I'm going to come back and just tell me if you find anything out about it, anything different about the water. My guide said you need to do it 4 times. You need to flip it back and forth like an hourglass 4 times. Okay. So they said, okay. So I come back a week or 2 later. I said, grandmother Celia, what did you find? Anything? She said, well, yeah, son. I did find something quite interesting, actually. She says, watch this. She turns on the tap water. She lived in Bellevue, Washington. Turns the city tap water, fills up a cup, sets it on the table, puts some water in the bottle, vortexes it up 4 times, pours it in another cup, sits it on the table. Now she said, now let's come back in 5 minutes so we know that, there's no movement at all, and I want to show you something. So we come back to the table 5 minutes later. We're looking at the glasses, and she has said, you see the vortex water, it continues to move. It's moving, and it continues to move for days. But the water that's just right out of the tap, there's no movement at all. And I'm looking at the water, and I'm like, I can't see any difference here, grandmother. I'm not, what are you seeing? I can't see this. I'm not seeing this. Said, well, son, I know what I'm seeing. And this stays, it's like alive. It comes alive. Then she said, my guide told me to spin up a batch, draw my bath, spin up a 2-liter batch, and then pour that water in the bath. And when I did it, I can instantly see all the water in the bath, almost instantly, just within a couple minutes fully, energize the water in the whole bath. I'm like, wow, really? So I was like, okay, well, whatever. I know she wouldn't lie to me. There's no reason for her to lie to me about this. So then I go to grandmother Falling Leaves. What'd you find, grandmother? She says, well, I found when the first time you spin the water, there's a ring that's created just outside the bottle, about 3 inches out. You spin it again, another ring is created, another 3 inches out. Another vortex, 3 inches, and then the fourth one, after the fourth one, it doesn't go any farther. It goes out about a foot on each side, a little over the foot, around a foot on each side, and in between the rings, you can feel it gets cool and it gets warm. It gets cool if you bring your hands all the way out from the last ring and slowly move them in towards the water bottle and the water, you can literally feel it get cool and warmer in between where the rings are. And I decided to do it, and I could actually feel it. And I was like, wow, yes, I can feel this. Interesting. Then she said, another thing I discovered, son, is that you can direct this energy of the vortex to somebody to support them with health and healing and well-being. You have to be really specific about their name and what you wanted to do for them. And she says it's like a super amplified prayer. That's all I can really describe it as.
Wow.
So as you're vortexing the water's vortexing, as you're vortexing it, you say, I direct the energy of this vortex to Joe for Joe's knee, whatever, to help him repair his knee. And it's a super amplified prayer. And she said, I discovered also, you can send this energy through the veil to the spirit world. So I'm like, wow, I'm scratching my head because this time this whole spirituality stuff is all kind of new to me. And, I can't see, so I'm kind of like, okay. But again, I know these well enough, these grandmother Falling Leaves and Celia, I knew them well enough. No reason to lie to me about this. There's no reason for it. So I ended up I needed something a little more, and I went to a lab in Seattle, Washington called BEST, Bioenergetic Screening Team. And they have different devices in there, but one of them called an electrodermal device. And the woman, Patricia, I went in there with some of the water that I vortexed up with the VME, and we did some tests. And at the end of the test, long story short, to keep it short, Patricia looks at me with big eyeballs saying, where did you get this water? And I said, well, I made it in my garage. I'm not really telling people a lot right now how I do it, but I made it in my garage. And she says, can I buy this water from you? I said, I'll give it to you, Patricia. You can have the water. She says she pulls a computer printout and shows me where I was at before I didn't even drink the water. She just had me, I went to drink it and she said, no, just put it between your legs as I do the second test. And she showed me how it completely shifted my energy field in all of these areas, bringing me back into almost homeostasis. Basically, 50% is what you want the meter to read when you test.
Mm-hmm.
So the bottom line was, I knew at this point, beyond a doubt, the universe had brought me something unique and special. And grandmother following me advised me to file patent on it. And I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for her. Well, I continue to file more and more patents over the years to come. And I started being clearly guided by individuals, by beings, and we'll go more into that a little later here, supporting me to bring this technology through. Again, you know, I didn't create this technology that I'm going to show you guys here today. I've just been following guidance. I try to just get out of the way, really. That's when I'm able to really tap in and tune in to the beings that are guiding me and showing me how we can change the shifting of consciousness. We can speed up the shifting of consciousness with water, one thing, and how we can clean up this condition of the waterways that we've all been a part of polluting on some level or another. All right. And it goes pretty, so anyways, I don't want to keep going. We better stick to the next question. Or I will be all over the place.
Okay. So, okay. So then you were just telling the story of how you got to where you are. So do you want to go ahead and finish it? Like, so what happened after all of this? Then you had some beings that came to help you more with the technology.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so when I moved here to the high mountains of New Mexico, I live in a place called the Enchanted Circle. There is a lake just above me. It's the most sacred place of the whole Taos Pueblo Reservation. It's called
what reservation?
It's a Taos Pueblo Reservation in New
Taos
Mexico.
Pueblo. Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the most sacred place of their whole entire reservation, and it's pretty big. And that lake is known also as the Seven Sisters.
Oh.
Okay. It is a Pleiadian portal. Okay. There's a woman named I'm getting God bumps that. So
Me too. Because I am Pleiadian,
so there's a woman named Judith Moore who called me one day. I don't know who Judith was. Judith has wrote several books. She's done workshops. She called me one day and she says, I'm being guided to do a channel for you. And I'm thinking, what? You know, that's not a common thing. Somebody calls you and says, I'm supposed to channel for you. But I asked my guides, because I was kind of thinking, oh, is this woman out to just make some money from me? You know, I didn't know who Judith was at all. And my guide said, no, you need to go do a channel with her. So Judith basically, I call her, I said, Judith, okay, I'm guided to do a channel with you. And at this place, I'm actually quite broke. I'm financially pretty tapped. So I asked Judith, I said, Judith, you know, where do you live? I'm willing to come to your place. And she says, no, actually, I'm being guided to come to your place. And I'm thinking, oh, geez, this is going to be more money. And she says, I just had an operation, so I'm going to have somebody drive me. So my mind is thinking more money. And yet my guides still say, tell her to come. It'll all work out. Don't worry about the money. So Judith comes here. She brings her driver. We have lunch and really good conversation. And then Judith goes into channeling. And she goes out for a while and she starts talking. She says, you're not aware of this, but the Pleiades have built a underground base up here in the mountains, right here in the mountain behind you. The reservation is basically my backyard. So she said, you don't realize this, but the reason the Pleiadians did this is because the water of the planet, this planet is dehydrating more than what we realize. Yes. And the scientists of the world aren't really realizing this. Hardly anybody realizing this. But the Pleiadians know this is happening, and this is one of the reasons they built this base up here, because they know how to create water. And in your dream state, you are working with them. They're working with you. Why do you think you're doing all this really what appears to be quite strange, weird stuff that nobody else on the planet is doing? And another thing she said, oh my God, oh my God. She says, this must be against the Galactic Federation rules and regulations. There's these beings, she said, are coming here to this planet and vampiring the energy of the water here and taking it to their planet. Oh. And because of this is also causing some problems with the waters of this planet. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now I know that sounds quite far out there, but actually to this day it's not quite out there at all to me. I understand this.
Mm-hmm. I believe it now that you've told me so much about the water. I totally believe it now that it has so much power.
Yes, it does. And it's not, the water here is not from even here, in my opinion. It didn't originate here. So also, so then the next real wow is my friend Carol Fitzpatrick, about 11 years ago, offered to do a free channel for me. Oh, by the way, Judith never charged me a dime. She drove 3 hours from where she lived. And I offered her, I asked her what I owe her, and she said, you don't owe me anything, Randy. I did some energy work on her because she just had an operation. And the next day she called back and said, wow, I don't know what you did, but thank you so much, because I really feel a lot better from whatever you did to me. Anyway, so that was quite an amazing follow your faith, spirit testing you.
Yeah.
So then Carol Fitzpatrick, she offers to do a channel for me. And the channel, when she channels, she says, there's this being, and this being is working with you. And she's it's a she, but she's very, like, she has a masculine kind of kick-ass side to her, you know? Okay.
Sounds like me.
Right. Right. And she said a name that was close to Adema, but it wasn't Adema. It was something close. And it took me a little while to really tune in and what is your name and how do you spell it? And then, so I've known Adema has been actually working with me for the last 11, she tells me. She's been working with me for about 11 years. Mm. I wasn't aware of that until about 8 years ago. But just recently, Adema has been really guiding me and actually showed me what she looks like, which was a pretty blow you away experience, definitely.
Wow. So can you describe her? I mean, is she humanoid or is she ET looking? Like,
no, she is a most magnificent, beautiful rainbow dragon.
Ooh. I've been working with dragons. That's so awesome.
Yeah. And she is all about alchemy, magic, and she's all about bringing homeostasis to this planet.
Okay.
Through the waters. Okay.
And tell people, what is homeostasis in case we have, global people that don't know what that means.
Well, homeostasis is basically balance. When our bodies are in homeostasis, they have the ability to heal themselves from all kinds of disease and illness. When we get too far out of homeostasis, out of balance, or nature's the same way, that's when disease and illness is set in, because we're just too far out, right?
Yes.
So to me, it's not all about focusing on the light. And of course, it's not about focusing on the dark. It's about being in that 0 point. It's about being in the eye of source energy, right?
Yeah.
And knowing that we are the divine, we're the divine masculine, we're the divine feminine. And so in these times, especially that we're in right now, staying in this 0 point field, helping us to stay in homeostasis is so critical.
Yeah.
That we don't feed into the doom and the gloom, and we don't feed into all the negativity. And even with the conditions of our bodies or the body of the Earth's mother, which we're seeing we've kind of went to a pretty extreme, you know.
Yes.
But we must remember this is all a hologram.
Yes.
And
It's a video game.
Yeah. And what we project, what we feed into, if we feed into the waters are all messed up, well, then we're going to feed into energy into the waters are all messed up.
Exactly.
Right?
Absolutely, because we create our reality with our thoughts. Yes.
That's right.
Absolutely.
But that's why I like using the term global water optimization. Okay. Because we're here. This is what ALCHEMY is about. This is what I am about, of supporting global water optimization. And as we heal and purify the waters in our bodies, which is the first most important step, because we are basically, water is a holographic quantum computer.
Yeah, right? So are we.
So are we. and we are one drop in the vast ocean of water, right? We're one drop in the vast ocean on this planet of water, and we are the ocean.
Yes.
We are one. We're all energetically one. So as we remember this, and we really, really remember this and embody this, what I do to my body, I'm affecting your body, right? What I do to my body, I'm affecting the body of everybody on the planet. What I do to my body, I'm affecting the Earth Mother's body. So as I purify my internal waters, and this is literally what ALCHEMY the last couple of years has just emphasized on me so deeply, you got to purify more. You got to purify more. Don't come from a place that you're all dirty and contaminated, but the more you're doing this, the more you're affecting the well-being of all. Mm. And so I can be selfish and drink my coffee that I enjoy, but when I know that there's a condition going on where the oceans are acidic, and we overall, the human race, have become acidic, I'm merely going to support if I don't keep balance in my body, if I'm drinking too much coffee or eating things that are causing more acidity that I love to eat and like the taste and all, but my body's like, no, and my guides are saying, no, you got to do your best to get off of this. It's just an old parasitic side of you that you can clear and heal. And as you do it for yourself, you're doing it for the planet.
Wow.
Right?
Yes.
In fact, this is something, you know, it's off the subject a bit, but we have not been taught self-love.
Oh, God, no. It's the opposite. It's the
Exactly.
opposite.
It's not right. It is the opposite. We've been taught how to abuse ourselves and put ourselves down and live in shame and live in fear and live in guilt. Right?
Yeah.
And then we practice self-love. Oh, you're being selfish. Oh, that's being selfish.
Exactly. Exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's kind of tough for us as a human. It's tough for us. We're not really humans, but we're in this having a human experience. But it can be tough for us to really, really embrace and embody that self-love, and really, but it's the greatest work we can do right now on the planet. And really, just listening. You know, we are not our bodies. We are not our bodies, and a lot of times we don't have a real healthy relationship with our bodies. Mm-hmm. So our bodies are saying, I want this, or I don't want that. And our mind is saying, oh, but that gets me high. I like my marijuana. I like my tobacco. I like my coffee. I like my sex, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. Right. And nothing wrong with any of them. It's not good, bad, right, or wrong. But when it's taking the vibration of the body down, we will have a hard time really stepping into the divine blueprint of who we are.
Yeah, so absolutely.
I'm gonna stop there because I know I'm getting off the subject, but
yeah. So this is a good segue into the next question, which is, what is the most effective means of alchemizing, neutralizing the chemicals out of our global waterways? So, right, this is happening. So how do we fix that? How do we heal that?
Well, to me, it's back to, it's an internal thing. The first place we start is cleaning up the internal waters in our bodies. Okay.
Yes. Right.
And how do we do that? We I believe drinking full spectrum or structured water really supports that. I am a real believer of that. From tests that I've done with GDV, gas discharge visualization, to when you start changing basically the electrons. We want high electrons in our water. We're electromagnetic beings, and water carries voltage when it's been spinning, spiraling, doing the dance of life.
Yeah.
So remember, we want high electrons. We want low ORP, oxidized reduction potential, in our water. We want a higher concentration of hydrogen, the feminine. So water is both, you know, oxygen side of it is the masculine, the hydrogen side of water is the feminine.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Okay. I could go much deeper into that, but let's stick to the
Yes.
So hydrogen is the major player for hydration. And most of us, even many of us that are drinking a lot of water, we're not getting hydrated.
Yep.
We're not getting the water into the cell and flushing out the toxins and bring in the nutrients. And this is the greatest problem of our health to this day and age. It's the number one problem. We are dehydrated.
Yeah.
And we're not getting this water in our body. And why are we not? Because we're not treating with water with love and respect. So that's the first thing. And so when we start trying to put healthy waters in our body, and I'm a real believer also, we can pray with our water, especially when we can put stickers and all the words on the bottles and all that. And that'd be kind of like, you know, me telling somebody I love them, but I never show it. Right.
Okay.
You can have somebody tell you you love them all day long, but if they're not showing love, then by knowing you love to dance, you love to spiral, you love to spin, you love to fall, that's what you love to do, and you're not allowing that, well then how can you expect that to really love you that much? You can't expect water to love you too much. So
yeah,
we're robbing electrons when we put water down pipe, straight pipe. We're robbing electrons, we're robbing magnetism. We're forcing it, the old masculine paradigm of forcing, confining, pushing. That's that old paradigm. And that's why we have got so out of balance in this whole world that we're in. We got really, really swung over to this very patriarchal hierarchy masculine. And why have we done that? Because we haven't fully understood nature. In nature, we have two forces, centripetal and centrifugal. Centripetal is the feminine, cooling, contracting, organizing, levitational force, cooling. Centrifugal is the expansion, the masculine, leading to death and erosion and decay. What's all of our transportation? It's all masculine based. Our societies, what's it been? All masculine based. We've got out of balance with our masculine and feminine in here, within us. And so it's a reflection outside of us is what's happening, right? And in nature, it's a teeter-totter. It's a little more feminine, a little more masculine, a little more feminine, a little more masculine. A healthy force is 65 feminine, 35 masculine. I believe the creator, the source energy, all that is the same way.
I agree.
It's not some guy with a big beard up there.
No.
You know, just listed to be, this is the way.
Yep.
No. It is a being that is androgynous.
Yes.
And it's actually more feminine than it is masculine.
I agree. It creates life. It creates life. That's what women do.
That's exactly right. Exactly. Yeah. So it's time to let that old paradigm, that old visualization to go.
Amen.
I'm swinging off the subject here, but.
All right. So back to how do we alchemize the global waters?
Okay. So what Adima, so 2 years ago, Adima is telling me you need to get out in your portal. Can I show a picture of the portal?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Adima told me, so I was guided to create this portal several years ago. And Adima told me, you need to get out into this portal and you need to go out there every day. So as I'm talking, this is actually the beautiful valley I live in. Hopefully it'll play. Yes. I can speed it up here. So this is what I call a plasma purification portal. So Adema told me, I built this like 3 years ago. Adema told me, you need to go out there every day and get under that vortex for 45 minutes every day. Critical, important. So I followed guidance and I started doing it. Well, what started happening is, this is through the middle of the winter. Actually, I was doing this. I started getting massive downloads. I mean, massive downloads. And I started realizing, she started showing me. She says, you know, Randy, you can bilocate this. You know how you've been wanting to put these all over the planet? You don't need to put them all over the planet. We can bilocate this technology. You can bilocate this 12 times anywhere on the planet. And then you can move it every week. And what I want you to do is, I want you to, they first started having me go in here. I would bilocate with me down to the core of the earth. And I'm not going to go into details of what I was all guided to do. But then Adema said, you now need to get people together on a Zoom meeting. And you need to, this is just one part of what you're going to be doing with the bilocation. You need to get people around the globe sending you a little vial of water. Okay. And you need to get everybody on a Zoom meeting. And you need to get a photograph of that body of water. And you can do like the whole, like the North Pacific, that was guided to do half of the North Pacific at a time. You could do the whole Amazon River on one meeting and one body of ocean water. Bilocate this technology 6 times, 6 to the ocean, 6 to the river, leave it there for a week or 2 until you do the next meeting. Then she says, get the work of Catherine Parker out. Catherine Parker does something called resonance alchemy. And it is a universal light language. Okay, it is a universal light language. And basically, so one, for instance, Amale Tur Amura Dawn. Amale Tur Amura Dawn. That is for regeneration. There is ones for everything, for purification, for you name it. There is a resonance alchemy syllables for everything. And like she said, you need to use this light language as you are all looking at the ocean in a Zoom meeting. You're all sending love to that body of water. You're literally, you know, we're guided to, basically, I was guided to ask all of those toxins in the water to go back to source energy, because everything comes from source energy and everything returns to source energy. And I am merely just speeding it up. What we are doing is we're speeding it up, going back to source energy. And then then I was guided basically that you can, like methyl mercury is a big issue in our waters. So my guides or Adema said, you connect in with the consciousness of methyl mercury. And you ask the methyl mercury to please leave that lake, leave that ocean, go back into the cinnabar where it came from, back down deep into the earth, asking for our forgiveness for disrupting it, because it all came from mining. That's why we have a problem with methyl mercury. Mercury by itself is not a problem. It's when mercury hits decomposing matter, it turns into methyl mercury. And many of us humans are murked out. We are murked out. Our third eye is full of it. Our bodies are full of it. This is the other reason why we can't remember who we are.
Wow.
So we work with a consciousness. We ask it to return back to the cinnabar, and we thank it for doing so. We see it happening. We see it happening, and we thank it, and we move on. And literally, we see these toxins leaving the waters. We see it going up through all the dimensions to the last dimension, to the Godhead, and transmuting into divine white light. Now, we can take this a step farther, I believe, even. When it comes to, I started a nonprofit called Project Clean Oceans about 7 years ago. Because I fished on the most advanced commercial fishing operations ever, these ideas, the whales and the dolphins, started showing up in my field here. And they were asking me for help. They couldn't keep up with all the contamination that's going on in the oceans. They do a lot of work. Matter of fact, the whales and the dolphins, they do a form of resonance alchemy. It's not just their sounds that they emit that are affecting the waters. They understand scalar waves. They understand radionics, also known as psychotronics. Okay. Resonance alchemy is radionics. Okay. It is. When you send love to your lover across the world, you think about them, your spiraling waveform comes out of you and goes into your beloved on the other side of the planet. This is proven. Heart Math Institute. This right here is the most natural scalar wave amplifier and receiver. This is fifth dimensional. It goes between fifth and ninth dimensional. But what you're seeing here in the middle is definitely fifth dimensional. And where you see it come out of the tip here, which is the see, I think I might have. So this is the 0 point. I know I'm getting off the subject of how we do this, but this is all relates. This is all relating to the subject of how do we do this. And because this is why this could not have been done just a few years ago. This is what Adema is telling me. This whole thing of bilocating, it's not like we couldn't do it on some level, but because of the new energies that are streaming into this planet now and the fifth dimensional energy that's here and now and strong, we can do this now. This is real. This is not woo-woo. We can bilocate ourselves. We can bilocate technologies, and they can run for days or weeks or however long we want to run them there. But my guides is you can only do one of these in 12 positions, 12 other spots at a time. That could change down the road, but for right now, it's 12.
So you do 12 every 2 weeks, and then you take the 12 and do another 12 locations, and then like that?
That's correct. Last year when I started doing this, I did it for about a year, and we pretty much worked on just about every ocean and every major river on the planet. Then it was time for me to stop. And the other reason I stopped is because there didn't seem to be enough interest also. And so I can do a lot of things on my own, but this is way bigger than me, Randy, by myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a we thing. And really, I mean, I am calling in all the quantum shaman out there who you really know you're a quantum shaman. You are a plasma creatrix marvel. Okay. We have forgot this. We are plasma creatrix marvels, and we have abilities beyond what we can fathom. My job here is to build the stage for the magic to happen, for us to come together and do the real magic. But I know in my heart and soul, we can do this. This won't be done, what we've created here, and the conditions won't be done in a third dimensional way. It just won't happen that way. We have to think outside the box. We have to do our best to bring in, you have a unique gift that nobody else on this planet has. And we need you to step up. We need you all to step up and remember that. I don't care if you're a drug addict, strung out on heroin or whatever. You are needed. We're all needed to step up and remember who we are. As a matter of fact, most people that are strung out on drugs and alcohol and in insane asylums, you're the most, and in prisons, you're the most ones that we need, because most of you are the ones that couldn't cope very well with this crazy world we live in. And you kind of, you checked out. You just like couldn't deal with it. You checked out in a way. And so I don't blame you, but I know this. We're all equally important, and we all equally have this really unique gift that nobody else has. And we need to bring these gifts together and come together and use our imagination. Let the childhood come out in us. Let that child come back, use the imagination, and co-create and have fun. Have some fun at doing it. We can do this, and we are
Yeah,
doing it.
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, if we need to start doing the Zoom meetings again, I mean, I can get people to come and I mean, I'm in. I'm in. You sold me. I love water and I love my planet Earth. So, you know, if this is something that still needs to be done, count me in.
So it definitely, and so, you know, this is what I'm showing here. I'm pulsing photons into the 0 point. This is the way. So as I program, see, I create temples for water. I create temples. I combine sound, light, because as I am creating a temple with this water, it's affecting all the water on the planet. As I give all of my love and reverence, and I'm creating really, this is a plasma purification portal, but it is a temple. It's a water temple. It's a sanctuary for water. And as I'm doing this, I'm affecting all of the water on the planet. As I drink the healing waters I drink, I'm affecting all the water and everybody everywhere. And the more we realize this and start the working with water and how we can activate its full potential through light, through sound, through frequencies, through magnetism, yada, 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 crystals, etc. It is phenomenal what it can do for us in this planet. So, anyways, I want to move on to what the next question, because I know I get a little bit all over the place because that's just
Yeah, so but I know that was important. So so what are the solutions for us relating to dehydration and toxification issues along with solving the problem of plastic bottles in our oceans and lands?
okay. So for a moment here, I want everybody to take I want you to one of the first or the second patent that I did is something that I call Gaia's fountain. And looks like I might have lost it. Because what I see, the vision that I see, I've thought about this for so many years, so many years of how do we overcome this bottled water problem? This is the answer. This is Gaia's fountain. There's going to be a bigger version of this. In every school, every government building, every community has one to go fill up bulk. This is just a small version of what will be going on. This tank will be hundreds of gallons. You'll see a bigger version of it. So this is specifically created for drinking water. And this is Gaia's fountain. And what I see, the only way to overcome this problem with bottled water is that we must have this water available for people everywhere, wherever they go. And because it's full spectrum water, because when you drink just a tiny amount of this water, proven in labs, one of them SciTech Labs in Encinitas, California, called SciTech Labs. When I tested subjects drinking this water, every subject, every time, literally, this is what happened. GDV stands for gas discharge visualization. It can measure the right and left brain hemisphere. It measures the biophoton energy field. It measures your chakra systems, how in align the chakra is or how out of align the chakra is. And it measures the sympathetic body or the parasympathetic body. Every subject, people that I'd never met before in my life, because they had to be neutral, not biased, that drank from this fountain, 4 ounces. Huge shift in a big way, the right and left brain hemisphere. Why is this important? This is important because this is going to help us balance our masculine and feminine. This is going to help us to balance the essence of who we really are, the androgynous beings that we really are, right? The biophoton energy field enhances tremendously when you drink this water. The chakra systems get bigger and go into alignment. It changes all these properties of ORP and bound oxygen, dissolved oxygen. Gases in water are super important in water. We've way overlooked this. Gases in water are equally as important as the water. This is why we were meant to drink out of a mountain, spring, or stream. But we don't have that option. So we got to bring basically the concept of nature into the cities, the concept of nature into the home. That's why I've created this. But back to the bottled water solution and dehydration. When you drink this water, it's going right into your cells. One of the reasons is it's causing a smaller molecule in the water. When we have a smaller molecule, it can easily go through the aquaporin of the cell into the cytoplasm and into the mitochondria. And when we got sufficient amount of hydrogen in there, whoa, key to ATP production. This is the key to health and longevity. Gases play an important role in many ways, but one of them, microbiome in the gut, supporting the microbiome, which supports a healthy immune system. Okay, so I see these, like I say, in every place available in public. So all you have to do is go even to the big community one, bring your 5-gallon jugs. It's not affordable for everybody to buy a really good filter to get the physical contaminants out of water. We got to remember about water. When we remove the physical contaminants, the chlorine, the fluoride, and God knows what else they're putting in our city water. No, go down that road. But we've only done half the job. We need to remove the vibrational contaminants from the water too, because water is a liquid crystal. It's the most programmable substance on the planet. One molecule of water carries up to 440,000 bits of information. It's phenomenal. And there's, guess how much there is in one drop of water? How many molecules? 6 trillion.
Oh.
That's 20 zeros after a number in one drop. It is the most programmable substance on the planet. So when we get this and we understand this, basically, we know we got to get those frequencies out of there, because when we drink that water, even though we filter out the physical, the energetic are still there in a homeopathic way. It's still going to affect the water, or our bodies when it goes in, right?
Yeah.
So having these available, and then you basically, the vision is you buy like a Costco card to everywhere. If you're in the airport and you want water, you just slip your card in there and you get water. You get water wherever you go. You get full spectrum living water wherever you go, right?
Yeah. And can you possibly do, I know I have some pyramid water from the Bosnian pyramids that they extracted. And they said literally, the Pleiadian said that you literally just need one little drop and then it just, so could you do that with this water, where you could just use a drop and then put it on your water?
Of course, yes, that's definitely one way of doing it. But when you understand the world of radionics and alchemy, you can even go to another level. You can literally send specific, say there's a war breaking out somewhere and we want more peace. Well, we're going to send the informational fields directly via radionics, psychotronics to that unit. I might have lost some of you there, but that probably should be another subject. But that is real. That is real as me standing here can happen. When I have a picture of something and a picture of whatever, I can directly send informational fields, frequencies to that person, place, or thing via radionics. Again, so yes, but we would add, it's important to add our quality minerals from the ocean minerals into our drinking water. We don't assimilate the minerals very well that comes from the earth, and because we're prematurely drilling down, getting water is not, it's immature, and we don't absorb those minerals very well at all. Calcium, magnesium, whatever. We absorb them when the plants take it up from that water and we eat the plants, but we don't absorb it very well directly from our wells, directly from where, because we're prematurely digging or drilling down into the earth and getting the water supply that hasn't came out of the mountaintop on its own, which is fully mature. All right. So I better, I think, so the plastic bottles, yeah, we won't have all these plastic bottles all over the land anymore. all this waste, you won't have all this plastic going into your body either. That water's not doing you any good. We basically enslaved this water into plastic bottles. You think that water is really going to give you life when it's been enslaved into plastic?
Not only that, you are drinking plastic, you're ingesting plastic. And let me tell you, I just did a video on TikTok about cleaning. I clean the beach every day, and the top of the bottles, there's more than the cigarette butts were these tops for the plastic bottles that I picked up, a gazillion of them.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So this is the solution that I know if we all come together, it can happen. It can happen. It doesn't have to cost us a lot of money. I think if you got it right and enough people, you could buy a card, global water optimization card, you know, and for $25–30 a year, you're going to pay for it in the first month easily. You don't got to buy your own filters. You don't got to buy your own vortex restructuring device. This is unnecessary. I'm not about how many of these products can I sell. Yes, I like to sell products. I have bills to pay, but my ultimate goal is to bring this to the world. This belongs to this planet. This technology is for the new earth that's being formed and created. And it wasn't ready. I've worked 22 years at this. It wasn't ready until up to now. That's why I'm now finally coming out of the woodwork and talking about it.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
absolutely. All right, fantastic. All right, so the next question is, what is the connection between water consciousness and evolution?
So basically, in my opinion and observation, the evolution of all that it is, the evolution of everything exists through water. An example of that, we pick an apple off a tree. We eat that apple. The water in that apple goes into our body. We perspire it out, we urinate it out, more evolved than what it was before that apple was here or that tree was here. When we die, our water goes back into the vast ocean that we're all a part of, more evolved, more conscious than what it was before we here. So water is directly, it goes beyond that. It goes into a much deeper thing, but I'll keep it short. Consciousness is directly connected to water.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, and Randy, do me a favor, stop sharing so we can see you big. Back to big Randy.
Okay. Okay. So it basically
I think there we go. Perfect. Okay.
okay.
Okay, so how we turn water into medicine with heart-based technology.
So what I do with my water every day, I put it into a toroidal field. I've gone beyond Gaia's fountain drinking, and I put water into a torus and a hyperbolic egg. Okay. What I've come to realize is that through the programming of sound and lights, especially pulsing lights, through prayer, through resonance alchemy, through gases, magnetism, and a combination of things, we can make custom water for everybody. We can make, because when we find out exactly, like when I connect in, I get permission to connect with your higher self. Your higher self guides my higher self. Where have you maybe got a little out of homeostasis? What minerals and vitamins do you need in your body? All I need to do is put those informational fields into the water. You really don't need to take vitamin C and vitamin D and all these things. Matter of fact, you're going to absorb it even better when you're taking it through full spectrum liquid crystal water. Your body, everything is frequency, energy, vibration, resonance, right? We are energetic beings. And when we work, I basically work with your blueprint, the blueprint of you. That's what radionics is about. We're working with a blueprint of your physical body, because your blueprint governs your physical body. You change the blueprint, you tweak the blueprint a little bit, you change the physical body. So basically, I get to where I find out what you need, and we can do this. I want to train people how to do this. How do we create this medicine water, that we don't need to take all these supplements and pills and superfoods. It's not necessary. Maybe taking a little of them, some people need to still take a little of the physical, but overall it's all about energy, frequency, vibration.
Okay. And how would you do that? Is that a class that you do, or how can we get this
Yes, that will be a class. That will be a class. The class is not available right now at this time, but it will be. It will be available.
Okay. Okay. All right. Fantastic. Is there any last message you would like to leave everybody with?
Yeah. I think the greatest thing is love yourself. Love yourself unconditionally. Know that you are a divine creator, God, goddess. You have the ability to move mountains, to part oceans, to do so much amazing, magical things. So don't give up on yourself. Just continue to follow your path and know that you're already there. You are a plasma creatrix marvel. You are a quantum shaman. You have a gift that nobody else on this planet has, and we need you all to step up into that gift and come together and co-create.
Absolutely. And with that said, how do we get people together? If you're saying that we still need to do some work, how do you want us to work behind the scenes and then come out again in a video to tell people how we want to meet? Or do you already have a Zoom that you do? Or how do we, like, I'm excited about this. So how do we, start helping?
So when I get 12 people, this is what my guide told me. When I get 12 people who are saying, I'm in, I want to be a part of this,
yep,
it will the global water optimization group will come back online.
Okay, I can get you the 12 people.
Yeah, I don't, and basically what I like for people, I have many samples already, but that you take wherever you live, that you take samples of water and first contact me, because I may already have a sample from Santa Monica or from Argentina, which I do in these different locations. I don't need it. But what I do in the global water optimization is I ask that we, first off, if you'd send me a sample, 1 little ounce is all I need. And I ask you to keep 1 ounce of that water. Every body of ocean, every ocean has a soul, right? A different soul, a different river, a different soul, a different resonance, a different energy, different. So I take that vial of water, and as we're doing the global water optimization group, as we're visualizing, looking at a satellite photo of the river, you're holding on to that sample, especially if we're working on your watershed area that you have. You're holding that vial, that little vial. I'm holding the other vial. When we're complete, the vial I have goes out into the water portal that goes into that water, because we are bilocating that 12 times, and we'll keep running until our next meeting. So it's directly energetically affecting that soul, is what Adima is teaching me, guiding me. Again, Adima is the one who's guiding me to do this and how to do it. And it's as simple as that. And then you just receive the next meeting, the Global Water Optimization Group. I was doing it every 2 weeks for a while. It moved up to every 1 week. I don't know what it's going to be this time. It's going to be whatever Adima guides me to do.
So quick question. The more people we have, wouldn't that make it more powerful? So can you do more than 12, or 12 is the number?
Oh, no, we could do 1,200, whatever I can get on a Zoom meeting group, whatever, how many ever we can get on there. I don't know what the max.
Okay, because I figure the more people, the more, obviously, the more powerful it will be. So
definitely, beyond a doubt. Again, remember, I'm building the magic stage. I built the magic stage, but we are the magicians. We need to come together. We are the creators, Creatrix Marvels, and put on your Creatrix Marvel suits and jump on the call, and let's have some fun. Really, let's have some fun at it. We don't have to, it doesn't have to be all serious. I've been very serious most of my life, so I have to, remember to let the little boy come out, and let's have fun at it. And So yeah.
Okay. All right. So if anybody watching this is interested, please send me an email at quantum life transformations with an S at the end at gmail.com, and just put on there, let's see, water alchemy get together or Zoom meeting or whatever. Just water alchemy. And yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, it's called the Global Water Optimization Group.
So the Global Water
Optimization.
Optimization Group.
Yeah.
Okay. And send me an email if you're interested. And then those that I receive the email, I will make a list and then send you information on when the first Zoom meeting will be. And I'm ready to get started. So,
well, thank you so much. Thank you, sister, from my heart. I know that you are a water being also, and you're here to also turn this stuff around with the waterways, and all the other divine work you're doing with your audience and your sharing. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. My pleasure. And thank you, Randy, again, for your sharing of your knowledge and just selfless, work that you're doing to help our planet and help, of course, the beautiful consciousness of water. So thank you so much. And I'm sure we'll probably see you again.
Yes, definitely. And anybody has any other, also, I have a lot of information on the website, vibrantvitalwater.com.
Yes. So how can people find you? Yes.
Yes, through, vibrantvitalwater.com.
Okay.
Okay. There's many videos and so just check it out if you're interested.
Okay. Excellent. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye,
Thank you.
everybody.